Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Writing Beis Samach Dalet or Beis Hey on a letterhead when you write a letter to an individual. The discussion regarding this matter in the Paiskim and what practically should be done. Should one write anything, and if yes, what should he write? Should it be Beis Hey or something else? So in continuation of our previous lesson on the historical background of this custom, its inception, its meaning and reasons, we will now go into its halachic ramifications and discussions. So seemingly one will innocently ask, what on earth is there about writing Beis Hey or Beis Samach Dalet on a letter that should be subject to halachic discussion? You want to do it, it's a good thing. You don't want to do it, Peseda, you're not doing a prohibition. But those who want to do it, leave them alone. In fact, you should even be encouraged to do so. So the source of discussion regarding this matter is due to the Kedushas Hashemis, the holiness of the names of God. You see, God's name has holiness to it. It has to be treated appropriately. If you're going to write God's name on letters that are going to end up in the garbage, the Pais can write very severe words against this. And therefore the question is asked, is an abbreviation, such as Beis Hey, does it contain holiness or not? As if it does contain the holiness of God's name, certainly you should abstain from writing it down. And you think you're doing a good thing, but in truth, the Pais have already mentioned it's a terrible avera to write Hashem's name on documents that can end up in filth. And doing so brings aniyas rachamanu litzlan to Klal Yisrael. So practically we find a debate, a dispute amongst Paiskim as to whether an abbreviation of God's name contains holiness, kedusha, or not. The Raman Yeredeya, chapter 276, halacha 10, already arbitrates on this debate and says that a person who writes Yud Yud, the two letters Yud Yud, which stands for Hashem's name, it can only be erased in a time of need. And as the Shach writes there in 14, in the name of the Trumas Hadeshin, that it can only be erased in a time of great need. However, one could argue that the abbreviation of Beis Hey is different, as it's trying to say Bezrat Hashem or B'Shem Hashem or Baruch Hashem. Hashem is not Hashem's name, it means the name. On the other hand, perhaps because the Hey is one of the letters in Hashem's real name, and that is the intent at the end of the day of what you're trying to mention, so it does contain holiness. Practically because of this discussion, of this debate, there's a conflict amongst the Poskim as to whether Beis Hey contains holiness or not. The Aruch HaShulchan Yeredeya 276-28 is of the opinion it has no Kedusha at all, although nonetheless should not be used for belittling matters. So also rules Mishnah Halachis and many other Achreinim that it does not contain any Kedusha and is not similar to the ruling of the Ramah we mentioned earlier. However, there were other Paiskim who do understand that Beis Hey does contain Kedusha, and therefore they are of the opinion that in fact it should not be written on a letterhead or any mundane writing. So was the opinion of the Ragachav in Tzofnas Paneach, letter 196. He writes one is to beware not to write it on letterheads. So is also the opinion of Igros Moshe in Yeredeya, volume 2, Tshuva 138. He brings down the custom that it's done, writes that although in his opinion it contains sanctity, and nonetheless defend those who write it, but concludes in the end that he does not see any need to be particular to write it, as why should Hashem's name be mentioned on a paper that has secular matters, even forbidden matters written on it, such as Lashon Hara. And we don't find it written in the writings of the Rishonim. Due to this, as some places can mention, some take the alternative of writing Beis Samach Dalet, which stands for B'siyata D'Shmaya, or another alternative and not Beis Hey, as this avoids the issue of Hashem's name. So practically we have sources and reasons in halacha between all the approaches. Those who write Beis Hey, those who write an alternative of Beis Samach Dalet, and those who don't write anything at all. Amongst Gedolei Yisrael, we find many Gedolei Yisrael who do not write Beis Hey or anything at all. When they write letters, so is the custom. Was the custom of the Gram and Chaim Volozhin, as brought in Shuvas V'Anhagis 1640. So is the custom of Chazon Ish, so is the custom of the Ragachav, as we mentioned. The Igros Moshe says that better not to write it. So is the custom of the Rav of Yemen, Rav Kapach, Rav Elyashiv, Rav Mashash, and others. Nonetheless, the vast majority of Klal Yisrael continue with the old age custom of writing specifically Beis Hey, and so was the custom of many other Gedolei Yisrael. So writes the Imrei Emes in a letter in the name of many Gedolei Yisrael. So was the custom of the Stipler. So was written by the Stei Chemed in all of his letters. So was written the letters of Yael Teidelbel and the Satmar Rav, Rav Adi Yosef, Rav Osner, and other Gedolei Yisrael. You can open up the letters and see they all start off with a Beis Hey. So is also the custom of the Baal Shem Tov and his Talmidim to write Beis Hey, as can be seen in the letters printed in the Sefer Magad V'Rav Yaakov of the Magid, in which he wrote Beis Hey in the letterhead. Likewise, the letters of his students of the Magen and students of the Baal Shem Tov, Beis Hey is written. This is found in letters of Pinchas of Karetz, or Leben Saras, of Zoshavani Peli, of Shlema of Karlin, or Baron of Karlin, Levi Yitzchak Berditch, of Chaim Chayka of Amdura. They all write with a Beis Hey in the beginning. The Alter Rebbe in all of his letters that we have would also write a Beis Hey. And likewise, this is found in all the letters of the Rebbe Rashab, the Rebbe Rayatz, and the Rebbe. With one exception, that in the Maimarim, what was written is B'siyata D'Shmaya Be'ez Hashem, and not the common Beis Hey. A reason has not been recorded regarding this change. We will now conclude with a review of the Rebbe's directives practically regarding this matter of writing Beis Hey or Be'ez Hashem or B'siyata D'Shmaya, what should be done. So although we've already given the background behind the three different approaches and their reasons, and Gedolei Yisrael who follow them, the following was the Rebbe's instructions regarding this issue. The Rebbe very much encouraged people to write Beis Hey on all forms of letters, including Torah journals and Kontreisim, and on one occasion he even said that it should be written in Likutei Sichos pamphlets, and the fact that it's not written there doesn't make sense. The Rebbe stated that this is the custom of all Israel, and that it's necessary to be done to receive divine assistance in your activities. Nonetheless, the Rebbe did not specifically say one must write Beis Hey, but he mentioned the option Beis Hey or the like, meaning the other alternatives such as B'siyata D'Shmaya Be'ez Hashem. Nonetheless, practically the Rebbe's and the Rebbeim's personal custom was to specifically write Beis Hey, with exception to Maimarim, which we already mentioned that Beis Machdalid was written. So halacha l'maisa, it is proper to continue the old age custom of writing Beis Hey on all letters that you write. Even on emails it should be written when you're writing to someone. When you're publishing Torah publications, should be written on the top of the first page. In doing so will, God willing, bring divine assistance in what everybody is trying to accomplish in their writings.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many Sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.